Hello and welcome back to the Unrehearsed podcast. It is Wednesday and it is just me in the studio today. I am on my second week back from our trip to Nicaragua, and my house is an absolute mess. My house is an absolute mess. I have not put away a single thing. We were just talking about that with a friend, and I was like, I guess now I feel like it is time. My luggages need to be put away. My clothes need to be washed. Do you guys do that when you guys travel? Do you guys are you guys those really responsible people who immediately unpack and get your whole life back in order? Because especially for this trip, it was not happening. It was not happening. I was like, there's no way. The entire week went by and I was like, no, it's not it's just gonna have to be a next week thing, and now next week has come, and I have to put things away. I actually watched a video of a girl who was like, "If you don't do this after every, travel, what are you even doing?" And it was, her, scrubbing the, hard case suitcase, in the shower? Soaping it up and, scrubbing it clean and, I'm assuming drying it and putting it away. I don't have that level of dedication to clean. I don't know if I'm outing myself, but there's no way that I'm doing that. It is going straight into the closet, and it is gonna stay there until the next time that I have to travel because I just don't have that kind of patience or just that kind of care in the world, to be honest. But it is time. I have been, under a, mountain of laundry, which is what we are which is what we are slowly working on now. But I am slowly kinda getting back into the rhythm of everything. Work was really hard to adjust to back into this time, and Nicaragua was only an hour difference, as far as time change goes, so it's not really jet lag, it was just exhaustion, to be honest. And speaking of just kind of our trip and our craziness, I do wanna just take a really quick moment to say thank you so much to everybody who reached out about my grandma. I really appreciate it. It really meant a lot to me to just know that my friends, my fans, my family that is here, and listening, reached out just to check in on her and to see how she's doing. She is doing okay. We are taking it day by day. We are all still waiting on seeing a doctor in a few weeks, and so just day by day. But we talk often. I'm checking in on her often, just to see how she's doing, and she is hanging in there. So thank you so much for everybody who is out there who has taken time out of their day and to just checked in on all of us and see how we're all doing. I really appreciate it. It really, really meant a lot. So yeah, but just kind of coming back into the rhythm of everything was a little rough this time around. I am already looking forward to my next trip, which is coming up, I feel like, really soon. I feel like everyone thinks that they have time until they're planning, and then it's just like as you're planning, just time is ticking away, and then you realize, oh, goodness gracious, our trip is right around the corner. And this is a really busy year for me. We're going to I'm going to a bachelorette party in potentially Chicago. We are going to our 10th anniversary wedding anniversary Japan trip. And then we are already talking about the next few year trips. So the travel bug is definitely living in this house. But while I was in Nicaragua, I'm gonna just take a really quick segue, as we do. I heard about the Lion King lawsuit, and and I know Taj is listening. I just want to say, I told you. I told you. There is just no way that that monumental movie with the amazing music and just everything had such a basic, oh my god, there's a lion. There's just no way. There's no way. I You almost got me. You almost got me with the convincing, but you didn't because there's just no way. But I heard that this lawsuit is, I believe, $27 million for like defamation or whatever it was about, misrepresenting the lyrics that the composer created. And I've got to say, I was thinking about it a lot about like, lawsuits and you can sue for everything these days, but I'm like, would I go through that whole ordeal to sue somebody for $27 million if someone had misrepresented something that I created? And I've got to say, like, I think I probably am spicy enough and salty enough to like maybe like make a really big like issue about it, but I don't know that I would sue someone for $27 million as a and like people did believe it. So like here's this is the other side that I'm kind of like, okay, maybe is people really did believe it, right? People heard this comedian, he was a comedian, but they heard him, they like believed that that really was what the lyrics were. They were misrepresented. And then from there, something that you created that was like really important and monumental has now become a kind of a big joke. So I can see how that would make me really upset and might want to sue, especially if it's, so widespread as it was and it like really did kind of take off. It was everywhere. Those clips were everywhere. We talked about it. It's like it really did take over. It was kind of like wildfire. So I do think that that may have pushed me over the edge too. The correct lyrics so that we don't get sued is "All hail the king. We all bow in the presence of the king." And that was from an article, that is not me saying it. So if you are going to sue someone, sue them. But I guess that would kind of upset me too. Like if I created something and it really was, kind of everyone knows this song. The Circle of Life is extremely popular. And if somebody kind of took something that I really poured a heart and soul into and kind of turned it into this, you know, the butt of a joke, I think I might have maybe, maybe I'd be upset enough. Maybe I'd be upset enough. I'm not really so sure about suing someone who is a comedian and let's be honest, is probably not making a lot of money anyway, but I don't know, maybe. But I thought it was really funny. I was listening to some videos of it when we were on our trip and I was like, yeah, there was just no way that it could have been that simple. But um yeah, so that was just a very quick snippet of a little thing that I thought I had to talk about today because it was just such a big thing the last episode that we were on. But I do actually a lot of things came. It's been really busy, guys. A lot of things have come up in terms of topics that we've been talking to, just kind of being fresh off of this trip, and things that people have been asking questions about, and people have been just kind of just thinking about and kind of just, when you get thoughtful about things, it's like this was one of those trips that I feel like I came back um with a lot of thoughts and a lot of feelings and a lot of gratitude, I would say. The conversation that we had today started out with food, which is obviously one of my favorite topics, is talking about food. And how it is really funny that across everywhere, I mean, cities, across states, countries, um, you get the same name for food and they are completely different things. They're like the thing that we use, the example that I'm gonna use is, pigs in a blanket. So what I didn't know, pigs in a blanket here in California is like a sausage wrapped with pancakes. Like, it's just like in a like pigs in a blanket. Um, Apparently in Wyoming, pigs in a blanket is like pork with like cabbage on the outside. Like the wrapping is not pancake, it's cabbage. And I guess it's because there's like a really big German population in that kind of area. And so the food and the names for food are very kind of different it's like you'll use the same name for very different kinds of meals. And one of those things is like for us is enchiladas. We have, as far as I know, and I'm sure there's more, two different versions of enchiladas in Nicaragua. And the funny story that we had about that was that when Matt and I first started dating, he was like, "I could go for some enchiladas." And I was like, "I can make you enchiladas. Like, I know how to make enchiladas." And so I made my version of enchiladas, which is a Nicaraguan enchilada. It is a um, tortilla with like ground beef and rice, like stuffed into it. And then you kind of put it in like an egg dip, and then you fry it. And so it's like this closed little like shell, and it has like, ground beef and rice in it, and it's absolutely delicious. I can never make it as well as my mom makes it, but every time she makes it, I eat like a ton. I eat so many. I think I gained like 10 pounds the last time I was at their house because I, like, ate all of them. Like, it was I don't think I, like, did not leave anything for anybody else. I was like, "These are mine. I love these." Um, but when I served Matt these enchiladas, he was like, "What is this?" He was fully expecting, like, red sauce, like, Mexican enchiladas, and I very much did not deliver. The other name that we have, or, like, the other type of enchilada that we have is enchilada Huaqueñas, which is from Huaco in Nicaragua, and my mom also makes. So this is a funny thing, actually. I'm gonna bring this up right now because my mom says that she doesn't cook. Like my entire like childhood, she did not cook. My grandma cooked for us, and so like whenever there was, like, some meal or whatever, it was, like, always my grandma that would make food. So my mom was always like, "Oh, I don't cook, I don't cook." Tell me why the only things that I, like, are, like, seared into my brain are, like, all of my mom's cooking. So, like, the few things that she's, like, cooks are, like, the things that I'm like, "Oh my god, like, I wish I could get, like, that particular thing." Um, but she's the one that makes it. Like, if I make it, it doesn't taste the same. So, like, whatever. Anyway, so my mom makes this I wanna call it like a chicken, like, salad, but it doesn't have, like, greens in it. It's just, like, shredded chicken, with some vegetables and, uh, seasoning and salt and something, some kind of flavor. Um, and they go on these little flat circular chips, and you put the chicken on top of the little flat circular chips, and then you, like, sprinkle cheese on top of it. I could eat a multiple dozens of these things. I have just gotten resorted to just eating, like, the chicken, like, the shredded chicken because I'm like, if I eat this many chicken and then chips, like, sometimes I'll just eat it as a dip. I will literally, like, scoop it out of the bowl, and I'm like, because I have to eat more of this chicken, otherwise I'm gonna eat, like, 15,000 calories of chips. But that is another one that I can absolutely devour, and that's very much like I don't know, it's just like it's so Nicaraguan food is very basic, but in, like, a whole, like, hearty way. Like, it's not lacking a flavor, it's not lacking but it's very close to whatever like, if it's close to its origin. It's very close to, like, how it comes out of the ground or it, walks on the earth. Like, I feel like it's very close to like, as close as fresh as you're gonna get. And a couple of stories I have about that particular part, and these are points of contention, by the way. These are, like, ingrained traumas in me. My very first trip to Nicaragua, I was 7 years old, and there was A few. There was a few moments, instances, that now I look back and I'm just like, God, I was really like an Americanized kid. So I am first generation, and my parents, came here. So my perception of food when I was a kid at 7 here, born, raised, was that food just appeared. I don't think like, you knew, like, this came from something, but, like, you just don't have that connection to, I don't know, the origin, it's food, like, like, to me, it just food was food, and, like, pets were everything, like little baby chickens, cute pets. Like little baby pigs, cute pets. Like all these like animals were just cute, and they were like, they were just an extension of like the pets, right? It was just like, okay, dogs, cats, and then also like farm animals. And I blame petting zoos for that. Okay? Like we go to petting zoos and we see them as cute adorable pets, and, like, you don't ever conceptualize that, like, that's gonna be food later, like, or something that you're gonna eat later. So when we went to Nicaragua, that was very present in my mind that, like, every animal that I saw was a pet. When we were if you guys watched our last video, the El Rescate that we spent this, spring break week that we were there, we they had that really pretty opening in the middle of the house where it was like, outside, like it was open air. So it was like right up that you can look up at the sky, and right on the bottom, there was like some little shrubs, trees, plants, things that they grow. And, in there was a chicken they had tied to one of the little trees that was there, one of the little shrubs. Um, they tied that chicken there for a purpose, which was to eat it. And I played with it for a few hours and then, was told to help my grandma pick, like, the feathers off of it to prepare it for the meal. That was extremely traumatizing for me as a kid who, again, thought that all animals were pets. And that is kind of the, like, mentality and shroud, I feel like the filter in which Nicaragua has its food. I feel like Nicaragua has an idea that, like, that thought, that belief of like everything here has a purpose, and like it is a resource. Like it is not a pet. It is not a like, oh, it's cute, let's keep it around. I mean, like they do have pets, but I feel like in most senses, everything is like for a purpose. Like, and so that is what translates, I feel like, in its food and in its process of like making food. I feel like there is a respect that comes with it that I feel like it's not frivolous. It's not like just, whatever, it is what it is. It's just there is a respect that comes with it, but I feel like when you go to a place that has that lens of food and animals, it changes how you eat. And I think that kind of added to the conversation that we were having about not just names, but like, how and where food comes from, and like that connection of knowing exactly where that food came from, and respecting that that food had a journey before you actually had it on your plate. I feel like that was a really big thing that was so present in our food, and every meal that we would have was just kinda like, this is food and it's like came from somewhere. Someone grabbed it from outside and made it into this plate right now. Um, there was like in San Juan del Sur, we had a plate of octopus, and I'm like, someone just out there in one of those boats probably brought this in sometime in the last like day, So it's just like that is why I feel like every time I go there, there's like a knowledge, of learning, a like almost like a confrontation of like such basic, like rooted things. I feel like here it's very easy to kind of just like put it out of your brain, but it's like, oh wow, like you're confronted with a lot. You're confronted with that's kind of what I'm getting at. Is like getting to Nicaragua and eating, just it confronts you with a lot of things that here I feel like you take for granted. Here you kind of don't even think about it, like hot water, running water sometimes. Um there were multiple instances where they would say like, "Oh, se acabó el agua," like the water ran out. Like you turn on the faucet and there's nothing, right? So, and it's just like that kind of stuff. I feel like it's things that we take for granted, but when I like go back home and when I'm there, it's just so present. And then coming back here, I'm like, oh wow, like I feel much more grateful, and not in like a I'm looking down on you sense, but just like a this is something that you kinda just put in the back of your brain, you don't even think about it. It's like that's kind of what the conversation had evolved into from just, like, names of food, um, but just, like, being able to see where things come from, I feel like because the chain of, like, making and eating is so much smaller in Nicaragua, you are able to kinda see it a little bit more, and I think that that's absolutely beautiful. It's the same thing with, like, the rosquillas. Being in that area and seeing how they're made, the ingredients and how the ingredients are prepared. I've been eating rosquillas for like my entire life. Like, I want like my parents, this place is really funny because her last name is Cano, but it's with a C. Um, they have been ordering from this lady for a very, very long time. Which means that I've been eating these rosquillas for a very, very long time. They just appear in my hands. Like I did never really like thought about, okay, how is it made or where does it come from or whatever. But, like, being able to be confronted with that story and seeing her journey and seeing the journey of each one of these rosquillas and, being able to see it from, like, literal corn to, like to actually in a bag was insane, and it was just the coolest experience ever to be able to kind of be so close to the point of it becoming something else. um, I think that everyone should experience something like that at some point because I feel like it changes the relationship of your food. It changes like how you think about food as like this actually came from something. And I think that America is just in this like we're always everything's so mass produced, everything is like constant, like just you go to the grocery store, there's 50,000 of them. It's like there's no you're not really waiting, you're not really thinking about like some industrial bakery that's industrially making all of these things. No, these things are made by hand, and they're made by hand with love and time and firewood, like and I think that that is kind of the idea and the thing that I brought back the most. I feel like that was um, the most present part about my trip that I brought back that I feel like has been kind of looming over my head a lot more, in just the last week or 2 or whatever. It is just like food and just like the quality of food, the where all of this comes from. We just kind of eat and forget about it, but like being able to be close to how they made it or being like we went to a place at a restaurant in Nicaragua, and it was we had ordered we had everybody ordered food. The food came, the food went, we literally ate, and Matt still hadn't gotten his chicken, and my dad was like, they're probably catching it outside. And I thought it was a joke, but I'm like, "Oh, no, he's actually might like, this might actually be a real thing." Like, the catching it, preparing it, and cooking it right then and there. It's like that kind of, like, freshness, that kind of and Japan has a really good, connection to that food too when it comes to like sushi and stuff. It's like they catch that in the morning, and in the morning the restaurants are coming to buy that food and prepare it and fresh it, and like that, being able to be that close to that level of just the chain, being that in the what is it? The thing that the circle the circle of life. It's just like it's really crazy. I don't know. That's just what's been rolling around in my head. But um it's really interesting. I don't know. I challenge you guys to kind of think about what I'm talking about because I feel like it's really important. Um and it's something that really stuck with me this time, and I think that it did stick with me a little bit the last time I was there, but just not so much. I feel like, I really stuck to, like, my favorite gallo pinto and, like, whatever, and I wasn't really thinking too much more about, meat and this and that, but I feel like this time it was really obvious to me. It was really evident and really kinda staring me in the face. Um, Couple of places that I went to that I thought, was also, just again, things that, like, we do, and I'm not even gonna mention this place by name because of how awful the service is. Like, let's be clear, Nicaragua also has its not so great service people. There is a very different attitude and a very different, way of interacting with customers there, but there is a sweet shop, a place that we buy candy and all kinds of sugary stuff, um who had, like, the lady who had the word I was like, "You guys had to, like, m offset the, like, really sweet sugary stuff with, like, your absolute bitter attitude because like, there was, like, you can't be bitter and then, like, not mix in some stuff to dilute your bitterness. Like, this is why you guys opened this sweet shop because otherwise nobody would ever get close to you. Absolutely awful service, but but there's, like, that particular place is also a place that we have been going to for a lot of years. They've been open for 3 generations, and my dad used to go there as a kid and, like, just that sort of connection to these people have made this thing forever. Like, my mom loves their leche burra, which is, milk, sugar, and, butter. It's like it kinda tastes like a burnt caramel. It's kinda hard to describe, but being able to go to a place that, like, we have been going to a really long time and seeing it in person and being able to connect to that and knowing that family and, like, my dad was running into all kinds of people and, like, this person and this person's my uncle and this like, I feel like that level of, like, connection is not just with food. It's with people, it's with businesses, it's with, like, circles of friends and families that, like, know each other through other people, and, um there is just a level of closeness in Nicaragua that I feel like I wish we had a lot more here. It's just we're really big. I mean, America's just huge, compared to, like, Nicaragua. Are you kidding? Like, like, it's the not even close as far as, like, people and size and whatever, but, there is definitely some things that I brought back that I was like I'm gonna miss this part. Like, I'm gonna miss this part. I'm gonna miss this, like, being simple, like, bringing it back to the simplicity of it. And even when I was talking to my grandma during her, like, little mini interview, it was just like when I asked her what it was like when she was a kid, she had said, like, everything was just so much simpler. And I can see that in very small little snippets. And I was like, yeah, I could feel the nostalgia, and I'm like, and I haven't even lived it. It's not even my life, but I can see it. So yeah, it was a really food is a really like big topic. I feel like food can be so many things. I feel like it's the great unifier. I feel like food brings all kinds of people together. There were moments where we bought food for like service workers and we all hung out and we ate, or like, people who came and whatever. And we just like being able to share a meal with somebody, I feel like it's just such a Such a beautiful thing. I don't know. I'm on a tangent about food today. Maybe I'm hungry. Maybe it's just like, a little nostalgia, but it was a really good trip in the sense that like I feel like I brought a lot back, if whether it be lessons or whether it be something an idea, something that I was thinking about. Um but I definitely am carrying that with me, and I think that that's the beauty about travel. And also speaking about traveling, I have am now evolving. Ellie Odyssey has its own YouTube channel. We are going to be posting all of our travel stuff, all of our randomness, all of our my all of my specific like travel and things. It will be a little bit more in depth of my travel, the things that we've done, the things that we've you know have been running around and doing, all of my little things here in the Bay Area as well. So check that out if you're into like travel and running around. This isn't like let's be so clear, unrehearsed is unrehearsed for a reason. My travel page, Ellie Odyssey, will also be kind of along the same vein. Um, I very much am a very unscripted, kind of like wing it kind of person. So if you like that kind of wing it vibe and that feel, and want to just kind of follow along and mm, do all kinds of random stuff, then let's go. So I hope to see you there, and I hope to see you again in this next coming week. Hopefully, Tasha's feeling better, and we can finally try some of these Nicaraguan snacks that I brought her to try here on camera. So I want to get her reaction. I did find the Snickers. I do have leche burra, and I also have rosquillas that I do want her to try. So we'll give it a shot and see how it goes. Hopefully, she's feeling better and is up to it next week. Send her all of your love and well wishes, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Mwah! See you later.